Hey gang, I was watching the first part of the documentary, The Beatles Get Back, and I got to wondering what would have happened if George Harrison didn't return after he left mid-session. We'll have a look and a lesson coming right up. Man, I'm totally digging the documentary The Beatles Get Back, directed by Peter Jackson. If you like or love the Beatles, you're going to love this. Early on in the first part, George Harrison walks out on the Beatles, and for a while it looks like he's gone for good, that John, Paul, and Ringo will have to play the songs without him. So I got to wondering what would have happened if John had to play all of the song Get Back, doing all the parts. No George, and no Billy Preston, who played keys on that as well. So let's have a look. We're going to build it all up part by part, and I'll do a demo of it all put together at the end. For starters, the song is a rock-based blues boogie in A that emphasizes the backbeat. First there's a backbeat build-up, and then there's a basic boogie. It kind of goes like this. Start with an A power chord. Build up. Now there's two turnaround chords, G and D. More on that later. Here's the main part now. Well, we're just playing an A power chord, and we're emphasizing that backbeat. So I'm almost always muting when I go down, and when I play up, I'm playing the 5th and 6th strings. And I think that kind of gets both of John and George in there. Then to go to the D chord, instead of going here, which would be very efficient, I go up here, I slide like sort of old-time rock and roll. Cool, so that takes care of the basics of the song, but it doesn't really capture the essence of what John's doing. So the next thing we'll try to do is capture those little lead breaks that he does. We're just going to come into the BB box here for the A chord. And the context is all right, now for the really cool part, the 7th chord riff. I think that riff is really what gives the song its character. It's a very useful chord form if you don't know it. Hendrix uses it in Red House, Van Halen uses it in Ice Cream Man, lots of other uses for it. So let's check it out. Okay, this lick revolves around this chord form right here, an A7. Now if you're having trouble, you already know this chord. It's basically just a D7, but you're bringing that all the way up so that the root is right here instead of the open D string. It's played on the D string 7th, which is an A. So the lick goes like this. So we're sliding up on the E string, walking up to that root on the D string. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Third time it goes to a D7 chord. Same riff there. And that's just another form of a 7th. Very easy to play. Okay, so far we've just done John's part, really. Now we've got to add some other parts that are difficult to put in. The first thing that we have to do is we have to get in that turnaround at the end, because nobody else is playing it now. Billy Preston's not playing it, George isn't playing it, so John's got to play it. How would we do that? Now, believe it or not, I think that this is the most difficult part of playing the song alone, and it's not because these chords are difficult, G and D, and played in the open position. I think it's important to get that because then that gives them a big sound, and it's really important to have that sound. But the trickiness is the timing, and you have to switch positions quite quickly. Anyway, here's how I did it. You can see that the timing is hair sharp and you have to switch positions pretty quickly. So it's difficult, but definitely important to get that in. Next comes John's solo, and I think it's best just to do that more or less verbatim. I'll give a slow-mo demo, and at the end of the video I'll show you where to get the tab for it. Next comes Billy Preston's little keyboard break. You know, the one that sounds kind of like this. All right, this is just a cool little run in sixths, and I'm going to do them on the A string and the G string, like so. Okay, let's put it all together now. Sounds a bit like this. Alright, I hope you liked how that all came together and that you'll enjoy playing it too. If you did, you might like one of these two videos where I do some more Beatles from Let It Be. Oh yeah, and you can get the tab to John's solo by clicking in the link in the description. We'll see you on down the road.